Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who are tuning to these videos. In this video, I wanted to go into the MOTB, and with these two Google searches I got from watching the Elder Brothers do videos on this specific topic and this specific guy that you see on the screen, Edomite. Now, when I'm doing all these searching and looking in the news about the MOTB or whatever Elon Musk is doing with his Neuralink, you don't really get all of the news articles, because you see here when I typed in this guy's company, the Vivokey, this article was posted in 2022. I didn't see it until now, but that's just because I typed in the actual company's name. One specific here in July 10th, 2024. Last year, this was a Vivokey launches crypto wallet that can be implanted under the skin. Now, these things should raise flags. They should ring bells, because this is speaking about what we're speaking about on the highways and hedges, the MOTB that Esau Edom is going to cause both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive. And if they don't receive that, then they're not going to be able to buy or sell. So that right there, this article correlates with biblical prophecy. And you can see right here how they're basically just doing a diligent search. And they got a whole bunch of articles here and there. Like this one, now you can stash your Bitcoin under your skin. And these are things that you can remember when Apostle Har was speaking about this a long time ago. Roughly 30 years ago, he was speaking about this very thing. And a lot of people scoffed at him, made fun of him, said he was crazy or whatever. It didn't line up with the scriptures. But ultimately, it does. Because all this, what this devil is doing, he's putting all of his energy into this MOTB. And you have to ask yourself, why is he doing that? Well, really, it's because he wants us, as the Hebrew Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, that the scriptures pertain to, the nation of Israel, that's your true nationality. Esau Edom is going to attempt to get everybody to have this MOTB, to break the commandment that we in this ministry have to uphold. And it's to deny the MOTB. And this is scripture prophecy that was given to us, and from our elders of Great Millstone and the apostles, elders on down, have been preaching this message. And when we read these, we go into the word mark also, which not a lot of these people do. Quite frankly, everybody who's going up against us don't bring this precept up or go into the word like how a real scholar is supposed to really get the understanding of what's going to happen. Because Esau Edom really wants to do away with the nation. You would think that a shepherd would take care of his flock, not send him to the slaughter. But as it says in Jeremiah 23, woe unto them who are causing that division, who are sending that flock to the slaughter. So, like, specifically this guy, this is the thumbnail that was in the brother's video. I'm not going to really click on these articles, because you could pretty much get the gist of it just by looking at this picture. This guy's whole agenda is to put you under this MOTB. I guess we can click this one so we can see real quick. Dangerous things. It says, I'm constantly amazed by the power of good ideas has over people, the inspiration of it creates, and the satisfaction of it seeing it to come to life, as difficult and rare things might be. Yeah, but this guy's pretty much just going into all of that RFID technology. Even just like in his picture right here in this website, he's got two of them in him. So I'm going to read this in Revelation 13 and 16. And we read this precept a lot here at Great Millstone, because this is pertaining to prophecy. It pertains to our personal walk, whether we are going to be steadfast and unmovable, always abounding in the Spirit, and not breaking the commandments. Because this right here is a commandment. The elect are not going to receive this MOTB. You can read about what's going to happen to those who do receive that in Revelation 14. They're all just going to be partakers in the lake of fire. So I'm going to continue this in Revelation 13 and 16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." And that word mark in the Greek is charagma, which basically means an implant, a stake, a palisade. I should have had the Blue Letter Bible opened up, because with the Blue Letter tools, we can go into the word. So over here in Revelation 13 and 16, when we go into the word mark, I've done this a few times in my videos, but I'm going to do it again in this one. So the word here is charagma in the Greek. And if you click here in the outline of biblical usage, it's a stamp, an imprinted mark. And if you click here in the root word, it's karox. And a karox is basically a palisade, a stake. And something that, like, if you were to put a signpost down, you have to use your mallet to hit a wooden stake so that it pierces the ground. And that's the device that is going to be inserted into you to put that stamp. You can even go deeper by going into the root word of this, and it's grapho, because they're going to put inscription into it. All of what those MOTB devices have with the RFID technology, so they can remember what bank account it belongs to, it's all bunches of zeros and ones, code written into that stamp that was put into you with a palisade. So you see how this is basically pertaining to biblical prophecy, and how Esau Edom wants you to take this. He wants you to go to him for the one of all things. But ultimately, the elect are not going to receive this thing, because we're going to be delivered out of this hell, delivered out of the judgment that this place is about to receive for all the wickedness and sin that it's pushed out throughout the four corners of the earth, especially because of how Esau Edom touched the apple of the Most High's eye, the Hebrew Israelites, and forwarded their affliction. If it were his way with this MOTB, which he's not going to succeed with it, mind you, prophetically speaking, he's not going to win this, but in his mind, he wants everybody to have this MOTB so that they can constantly rely on him. But the Heavenly Father has different plans. And also, as we're speaking these things, this is what's waking up the hopeful elect out of their slumber, so that they could basically endure through Jacob's trouble without having to receive an MOTB. We're only going to rely on the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and trust in him for food and the want of all things, because ultimately his words are more important than anything that this devil can offer. That MOTB isn't going to give you the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Rather, it's going to cut you off from hearing those words. So I'm going to read this here as a warning them from me, from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, to not take this device, to not trust this devil, especially in these last days. This is in Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, 12 verse 10. I'm going to read it down here. Verse 10, it says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." So if you could depict a person, an Edomite, being nice and lowly and humble and meek, that's basically them wiping the rust off of themselves. But ultimately, iron will rust. It's inevitable for that to happen. So if you see an Edomite being nice, coming to you crouching, as I'm going to continue on in verse 11, "Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast had wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away." Because it's just in his spirit to be that way. If he comes to you crouchingly, it's really because he's trying to get closer to you so that he could subvert you. That's what Esau Edom does. You could even read in the book of Esther where Haman was basically trying to do that with Artaxerxes, the ruler of that area and timeline. He was basically getting closer to his ear so that he could ultimately subvert that nation and usurp authority. And so that's Esau Edom's MO. That's how he's gained his power, and that's how he's ultimately gained the attention of the 2/3. Because you best believe once this thing is rolled out and it's initiated, that line of the for people receiving this MOTB is going to be filled with 2/3 who trusted this devil and didn't consider that that iron can rust again after you've wiped it. But they're going to find out the hard way ultimately. Continuing on in verse 12, it says, "Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts?" And ultimately, we're not going to pity you. We're going to laugh at your calamity when it happens to you, because we're telling you not to trust this devil. Yet the 2/3 will trust this devil. It's prophetic that it's going to happen. We know that the hopeful elect, through hearing these words, they're getting taken out of the world and walking that straight and narrow now. And now they're being cleansed because they don't ultimately want this devil to rule over them forever. That's something that the elect down here, whoever they are, have in common. So whatever this devil has to offer, they're not going to take it. Especially if it pertains to judgment, like if you read in Revelation 14. So let me just continue on, read these scriptures. This is in 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And this goes far beyond the MOTB. Just anything that this devil has to offer, we consider it. We know that he has these wicked devices. We're not ignorant of these things. That's why when we have to deal with what we have to do in the world, like we have to go to work or listen to music, do some downtime, maybe you have your family, whatever it may be, we still know that we're in this hell and that we can't just willy-nilly go to a restaurant and act as if we're not in hell, because this devil basically has how you say, like traps and snares in the world. So we're constantly on our P's and Q's, as the saying goes, because like his music even has the ability to manipulate your mind and put hypnosis on you, put demons on you ultimately. You know, speaking in the spirit, how the phrase is, because Esau Edom basically wants to put that evil vibration out there however he sees he can. So we're not ignorant of his devices. That's why we kind of stay away from things in the world, because we know that a lot of these things are basically wicked. And Esau Edom is behind all those things. So like with music, even to like if a person's watching these videos, just be privy to the music that you listen to or the media you consume, because a lot of it really is geared towards making you a bad person. Like I was watching the sports game the other week, and all of the commercials, I'm just going to say, is basically disgusting. And this is why this place is fitting for the destruction that Sodom and Gomorrah received. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So everywhere you look at this place, it's corrupt. And so it even pertains to the MOTB. So this is in 2 Peter 1 and 19, says, "We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place. And this wisdom makes your face shine." This is why we're basically bright, like on top of a hill, and you can't hide this under some bushes or a blanket. This wisdom is making you so bright that basically it's making you able to see in the darkness. And so when we are enduring in whatever situation we're in, we have this light in our faces, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because that's what's going to keep us stable in these days. So whatever this devil has to throw at us, we basically have a flashlight to see it coming. So I'm going to read from the top again. It says, "We have also a more sure word of prophecy." And you really have to believe that. You have to have the vision of what we're speaking about. Like when we go into 2nd Ezra 2, you have to have the vision of Yahushai crowning the elect, and how where it was specified in that chapter that those were those who stood stiffly for the names of Yahushai. Then were they crowned. So you have to have that vision. You have to have that in your mindset, because that is what the light is. There's wisdom, and also because we expect better than this place has to offer. So I'm reading from the top again. It says, "We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts." And we are all hastening the day for Yahushai's return. And if you can see and consider things, like I was just referencing watching the sports game, and like literally every commercial, there was wickedness in it. Wherever you looked at, they probably try to hide it a little better, but really it's kind of blatant, especially during the holiday season. It was real dark, but like you could see and consider all these things that's happening, like the wars and rumors of wars that we're watching on the news. And mind you, no regular 2/3 person in this world is really watching the news. Only the watchmen of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai are discerning what's happening in the world, in the stage of what's taking place with everybody, and filtering it through the scriptures. So you can see like that the times are moving quickly. If you don't sense that, or you're not picking that up, I suggest you pray, brother and sisters, because you can see very well that time is moving quicker, and it's for the elect's sake, because right now the elect is being sealed. This message has gone out throughout the four corners of the earth, and it's accomplishing it what it was sent to do, which is to seal the elect, take them out of their slumber, and prepare them for Jacob's trouble, prepare them for the hour of temptation. And like these articles, these news things, we're going to keep making them until the famine of the word hits, until this devil actually implements it. Because you can see with all of the energy he's been putting into this, that he really wants to implement this. So with all that get understanding, get that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, so that when you're in a dark place, you have light. Just like the parable of the 10 virgins. 5 are wise, 5 are foolish. The 5 wise virgins, they had ample amount of oil so that they could see in the dark. And the other 5, they were basically left in the darkness, in the weeping and gnashing of teeth. Because that's really what's going to take place to the 2/3 and everybody else. But so I'm going to read this last precept, because this is something that's been on my mind a lot as I'm going through all of my day-to-day chores, tasks, jobs, and things I just have to do. I'm sensing that time is moving quicker. And a lot of these people, they're not picking up on that. So this is in Matthew 24 and 22. "And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." So us in this ministry, we rejoice when we see these articles, or when there is a situation that's taking place. We like to see if it's a psyop or not, or whatever. In the world stage, it's all getting closer to World War III, to the battle of Yehoshaphat, in the valley of Yehoshaphat, where all these nations are going to go at it with Esau, Edom. And so with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rachakodash, Shalom Akim.